Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good. So today, thank you for doing our interview. I'm super excited to have you.
I'm so happy to be here today.
All right. Do you want to give like a little introduction? Tell us who you are.
Sure. I'm Shawntá, and I just wanted to come and share my little bit of a story. I was a foster child at one point, and then I did end up getting adopted. And to me, I feel like I'm a success story.
Yeah, well, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. So you mentioned you were at some point a foster child.
Yes.
Kind of tell me your experience about being in foster care.
Okay, so I came from an abusive background, so that's why we were taken from our original family. I was the oldest, and I actually had a brother. And we ended up getting taken away. I think I was around 5 or 6, and my brother was 3 or 4. And I don't really remember too many of the foster families. I do remember one in particular. They had a ranch and horses.
Oh, wow.
So it was a pretty cool thing. They were a Caucasian family.
Okay.
So my brother and I being mixed, we're Black and Filipino. So I guess it was always kind of in the interest of the foster agency to put us into a family that might be mixed or African American.
So when you were with this family that was placed, right, and they were Caucasian, did you at any point, I know you were a little younger, feel a little differently, or like maybe?
No.
Okay.
No.
That's awesome.
You're little, you don't really think of those things at the time. But as I got older, I did find out that it was important to them to kind of place us with somebody that was more mirrored our image in a way. So then when we got adopted, I think it was just we were in foster care for a couple years. And we ended up getting adopted by a family that had lost their daughter, and it was a genetic disease, so they were deciding that they wanted more kids, but not naturally. So they had an older daughter, the youngest daughter passed, and they wanted more kids, so they decided to look for foster care. And so my adoptive father was Black, African American, and my mother was Caucasian.
Okay.
So
perfect. So again, you were younger when you're in foster care, and then now moving into a home with biracial parents. Did you kind of see a difference in how they raised you, or did you feel like it was just?
Well, let me go back, because I did have one foster home that was Caucasian. Our other foster home that I remember a lot, the family was African American.
Okay.
And most of the kids that were there that I remember were African American children.
Okay.
So when I think back, I can see the differences on the Caucasian family and the African American family. But I don't want to really base my experiences on because of their race.
Yeah, sure.
But one family I vaguely remember. I just remember the horses and them being Caucasian and them having older children, a daughter and a son. And then the other one, I don't know if they had their own children, but there was other children that were adopted. Foster children.
Okay.
So they had their own little stories. But I feel like being in foster care, they didn't really care about me as much. I felt that I was more just there. I had problems. Like, when I went to one of the foster homes, I had a broken leg, and my cast was all the way up to my hip. And I just remember not using crutches. I think I had the broken leg at the Caucasian family's house and the African American family's house. But I remember at the Caucasian one, I was trying to use the crutches, but they were really hard for me. So I would mainly crawl places. And I don't remember that so much there. But when I got to the other family, I remember them not really caring too much, that I would have to crawl places. I have to go to the bathroom so bad, and having accidents because I couldn't get there fast enough. I just remember having to go to school, like kindergarten. I'm little, going to kindergarten. I would have to walk to the corner myself. It was not too far from the house.
To like the school?
Not to the school, the bus stop. I would have to walk to the bus stop by myself, and I don't remember an adult ever walking me. I remember stopping at neighbors' houses, and who knows, are they okay for me to be stopping at? I missed a lot of school. I don't know if I was getting all the education, because when I did finally go to my adoptive parents' house, I had to repeat kindergarten.
Okay.
So I was always a year behind, my normal age group. So that, just to say, with the foster one that I remember the most, I just don't remember there being too much like loving things that I just remember certain things that happened, like events, but not this person I was close to. I can't even really remember their names. I mean, one person I do, but other than that, what kind of impact did they really have in my life? Because I can't even remember much of it.
Yeah, and so again, you were younger too,
Yes.
but like you said, some things will automatically stick in your mind, right? So when you did move into your forever home, your adoptive home, thinking back now, did you, of course, see a difference? And wow, like,
yes. And I think too, knowing that that's your forever home, so you do kind of want to have that connection with them. So if you're thinking this is temporary, I came from one house and went to another house, maybe I was just like, they're not going to be here that long, who do I want to be close to? But as a child, 5 years old, how are you really going to think that? But who knows? I'm not really sure what kids pick up on, but I was just thinking this is my forever family, and I did try to be close and excited about things, and they're my new family. So
perfect. So thinking back, what are some suggestions that you could give to some of our resource parents that can help a child feel more comfortable in their home, and just to help them be more in tune with their child that's coming in?
Well, I would like to share something that I looked up about and I mean, it's not elementary, but just a definition of what fostering means. So basically, to foster is to encourage or promote the development of something, typically something regarded as good. And to bring up a child that is not one's own by birth, but basically putting those together, you're promoting a child, you're wanting their well-being. It's something good. So I feel like the stigma of fostering, is, first of all, fostering, people are like, it's hard, because I don't want to get attached. But really, you are the person that should be with them, because you have a heart for them. And you might not get them that long, but you're making an impact, you're making a difference at that time when they might most need it, and they might remember you forever. So I just encourage people that if that's what you want to do, that you want to encourage, you want to give someone something good in a bad, dark time, be that light for them. Don't let that stigma stop you. And just understand that they come with different backgrounds, different issues, and that doesn't, just make sure that you let the child know, like, it's not their fault. It's not because they were bad or they're a bad kid. It's just sometimes we have hard moments in our lives as adults, and right now it's a hard transition, but you're there to back them up.
Exactly. Perfect. All right. One thing that sticks in my head, because I've known you for quite some time, I remember your father used to write special messages and send it off to you in your lunchbox, even up to high school. What are some other special memories that you found that your parents did for you?
One thing that sticks out in my mind is that my parents didn't really limit it to their family, like as the immediate family, of feeling included in the family. I remember having an aunt that lived in Guam at the time, because my uncle was in the military.
Oh wow.
And they sent us presents for Christmas.
Oh, that's
Our very
awesome.
first Christmas with them. So I mean, that really makes you feel a part of the family, because it's like, wow, someone that doesn't really even know me yet is
sure.
caring for me. So extended family, I think, is something that's really awesome. You know, grandparents, getting them involved and on board, like to show the love and the care, really means something, you know, because you want to know where you're, you know, basically kind of where you're coming from, or you have extended family that cares for you.
That's awesome. I love it. So it's kind of like, you know, you see the ones in the home on a regular basis.
Right.
You know that they care about you, but you have an extended network too, right? Perfect. As a professional, because I know you have some really awesome things planned, I would love to know, how do you plan on carrying your experience and giving back to the community?
So I really want to help, you know, strengthen the community, as in growth with ourselves and being strong enough to just have, you know, the encouragement and the backbone that you need to start a business and things like that. So I don't have everything developed yet. I actually found put some things into place today, but I want to give back to the community as in helping people, encouraging them with their goals and dreams, and kind of like a life coach type thing.
Yeah, sure. And I know your profession. Give me a little background about your profession.
I actually do hair and nails and things like that. I'm a cosmetologist. I have my license, and I'm structuring my business kind of around that, but it won't be totally hair and all that stuff, but you'll just have to wait to see all the things that are going to be
and
developing.
so I would love to, like, maybe 2 years from now we can interview you again, and kind of see what you're doing for your community.
Sounds good. Thank you.
So to kind of wrap up this interview, you've been amazing.
Thank you.
What are there any other ideas that you would want to share today with our audience?
I just really want to share that, number one, the kid is the goal. You know, the children are the goal, how many you basically have, but encourage them, build them. A lot of children that go through these processes of fostering, adoption, sometimes you're left without an identity. You're not really sure of your background. Like, one thing I do wish, you know, I knew more about my background. I did have an African American father, but what about my Filipino side? I never learned much about my that side of my identity until later in life, when I actually did meet with my birth mother. But you know, just encourage them to, you know who they are, learn who they are in the Lord, you know, get that strength that they need, because a lot of it is just, you don't want to be known as, I'm an adopted kid, I'm a foster, you know, because that really gives them not the best image of themselves. But if you encourage them that even though you're going through this, you're amazing, you're beautiful, you can change the world with the things that you've been through, and you can grow from it and still have a great, beautiful future. So I just encourage, you know, just to help them with their identity, find out their place in life, and I feel like a lot of that would go smoother in the home with them transitioning.
So another quick question that came to my mind, looking back, and you know, being Filipino and African American, in a resource home, what are some things that you feel like could have helped you to explore a little bit more as to, you know, finding your identity?
Well, basically just talking about it, you know, you know, you do know the background, and you know, sometimes it was hard for me because I didn't look like my parents at times, and when you have to go do family trees and things like that, you're like, well, I'm making this family tree, but they're really not my family tree, you know. Not that they're not my family, but you know, it's not my background per se. So, you know, don't shy away from being okay with sharing the kids' real heritage, their real parent lineage and things like that. Like, you know, my parents adopted another child later in life, and she's 12 right now, and you know, my mom and dad are still open to her knowing her birth parents. So when she gets the chance and her parents ask, they, you know, will meet, and my parents are okay with that. And so, you know, you have to kind of put your own feelings aside, just because you want the child to have the best opportunity that they can, and know who they are, where they come from, why things are the way that they are maybe, but that they're overcomers.
Awesome. All right. right. Well, thank you
You're welcome. Thank you for
taking the
asking
time
me.
for me to interview you.
Thank you.
Thank
It's been
you
a
so much.
pleasure.
All right, thank you.